23rd double-double of the season. Also of note, Megan Jensen with a double-double for the Wolverines, 16 and 11. And also that's just her second double-figure scoring game of the calendar year for Megan. And lastly, Utah Valley is now 16 and 14, and they are in the semifinal round for the second straight WAC tournament. Coach Nelson, we ask that you open up with a statement, and we'll ask questions from the audience.
Yeah, obviously really, really proud of our effort in the second half. I thought really credit to our assistant coaches. We always like to play big. With some injuries, we've been reluctant to do so. And, our coaches talked me into doing it. And it really paid off. Megan, I thought, dominated in the second half along with Josie, but it made it really hard for him to guard. Can't say enough about those guys. And then Maria going 6 for 10 from 3, running the show was massive. And there's no question, credit to RGV. We caught them on their third game in 3 days. I'm sure they were exhausted. But they've been shooting the heck out of the ball. And just, credit to them on their run. And I thought our defense in the second half made a big difference there.
So free. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll bring the microphone to you.
Dan, you kind of mentioned it, but what was the emphasis at halftime to maybe pound the paint a little bit? Because it seemed like that's exactly what you did coming out of the halftime locker room.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think I even mentioned that too much, but that's usually the result of when we're playing the way we want to. I got on the bigs about setting better screens, so they had to help, so that then they were more open. And just kind of doing those small things offensively so we could get the ball inside and out. I thought the second quarter we were very stagnant. We didn't screen, and it was like night and day between the first and second half, I thought, with our screening and getting the ball moving. I thought was a massive difference on offense especially.
Taking an overview from Maria and Josie from the Zoom question, either Maria or Josie. You guys started 0-3 in WAC play. What changed? Who took ownership of the locker room and helped you get to where you are today?
Okay. I think it was both of us who we stepped up to it, but also it was a team effort. Coach mentioned it in the locker room. We've had a kind of a rough year with injuries, and we started off not like we wanted to, but we were resilient. We pushed through. We kept doing what we knew would work, and even maybe if it didn't work at the beginning, we knew it would. And we just kept to it, and we just kept working hard and listening to our coaches and feeding each other, and it worked out. So.
Go ahead, right there.
Maria, you kind of heard Coach talk about the second half, what got into you guys at halftime and everything. How much fun was that third quarter, and what did you guys kind of do differently, I guess, a little bit on the court?
Well, it was definitely way better than the first half, and I believe that. So when we went to the locker room, we're all kind of upset with our performance and how things were going, especially in the second quarter. And we talked about what we messed up and how defensively we're doing the best job. We're letting them get middle and everything. And I believe that we all got together and we're here to win, right? And so we just did our best to guard and then share the ball inside and out offensively.
Could you guys sense, and this is for all three of you, could you guys sense that they were maybe a little tired as you got on that run and you kind of just, I guess, smelled blood in a sense?
Yeah, I'll take it since Maria already said coming in here. Maria's favorite thing is her interviews. She said, if I don't say anything, take it for me. No, I think you could definitely sense they were still competing, but they were definitely tired. And I thought that stretch in the third quarter where the ball was going inside a lot, especially to Megan. Joseph and Megan were kind of getting that ball back and forth to each other. I think you could kind of feel the tides turning there. And so, yeah, we talk about all the time about you can win the game at any point. It can be the middle of the first quarter, whatever, and that's kind of what we were saying in the third quarter was now's the time to win it. Don't just settle for that initial, I think it was a 10-0 run or something to start the quarter. Just keep building it. And so they did a really good job of that.
In the women's game, you get 4 quarters. How easy is it for that momentum shift? The second quarter, they kind of owned it. Third quarter, you held them to 3 points. And then, just talk about the momentum shifts that way with the fact that you played 4 quarters.
You got it. I'll
Okay.
say something.
All right. Yeah, I think, and especially coming to the tournament where the TV timeouts are like 9 minutes long, it can change the game, really fast. And it can be good. We're a little short-handed, and it gave some of these guys a chance to rest with the timeouts and the quarters, and kind of that stoppage definitely makes a difference. Where you can have these wild swings. You've seen it throughout our league all year, where we were the beneficiary of it, or teams did it to us. And so, that's one thing I think Joe's hit on that's been really good for us this year. We've done a good job, I think, fighting through things and sticking together. So even after a bad quarter, or bad game, or whatever it is, we've done a good job bouncing back. I said in the locker room, we started, like was alluded to, conference pretty rough. And, I think our last 9 games, I think we're 7-2. Been playing a little bit better. So they easily could have mailed it in and been done with the year, but they kept fighting to give ourselves a chance. And we know we got a big task tomorrow, but I think we're up for it.
You guys have been getting lots of key contributions off the bench here down the stretch. You had a double-double from Abby on Saturday against New Mexico State, and then Megan had a huge game today. Just describe the impact that they've had this season.
Yeah, I mean you're spot on with the team. That's literally what we were just talking about in the locker room, is everybody stepping up. Like Megan today, Abby on Saturday, Maria was out Saturday, and Eliana stepped up, had the best game I think of her career. And even small things like today, we hadn't scored in forever, and Emma's jump shot right before half was massively needed. So just everybody being willing to do their job, whether it's for, I think Emma played 1 minute, a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Doing that made a huge difference, and just I think that's one of the cool things about this team is everybody we talk about all the time, but yeah, these two get their numbers and they're the all conference. But for us to be successful, it's everybody's got to be willing and recognize, hey, if it's Megan's night, get her the ball. If it's Abby's night, you get her the ball. And we've done a good job of that. I don't know if you guys want to add to that as players.
It's huge. It's awesome. I mean, I get so excited when teammates go off, like Megan, especially as a big. She's a big. I love it when Megan or Abby. It's just exciting. So
proud of her.
Any more questions? One more.
I'll ask the players, not you, Den.
Perfect.
SFA tomorrow. They beat you in Orem. The regular season champs. Talk about that matchup. What you're looking forward to, and what's got to be done to get on to Saturday.
Tomorrow we're gonna have to be really consistent throughout all the 4 quarters. In Orem, they got us there in the first quarter. They built a pretty good lead, and we had a pretty good lead, and we had a hard time coming back from it. And so I think if we're just consistent all 4 quarters, we'll be right there to win the game at the end, and I know that we can do it. So I'm excited to play them again.
I don't have anything to add. That said, we'll talk about that in the locker room. That was it.
She hit it on the head. I mean, they were champs for a reason. Mark's a great coach. They have a very well-balanced team. They play very hard. They can press, they can man, they can zone. They have multiple people that can score. So we're going to definitely have to, be on our A game. That's the fun thing about March is you have a chance. You get here and it's like RGV got a big win right before the tournament, and they kept it going. So you never know what can happen. And so we're excited. We'll get some rest tonight and come back and compete tomorrow.
Coach, ladies, thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.